Hi, I'm 𝗦𝗛𝗥𝗘, Chair of Peter's Ponderings Ministry. This is a ministry initiated by volunteers. We hope to bring biblical and inspirational perspective on life. Our vision is to instill courage, provoke thinking, and extend God's love in our world. If you have been blessed, we encourage you to sow into this ministry so that we can bless more people. Below are the ways that you can give.
The story is told of a king in ancient China who wanted to reward a loyal citizen. The king would give as much territory as the man could mark out on foot. So the man set off, walking 3 miles on the first day. As he turned to return to the palace, he changed his mind. Maybe he should walk a little more, to as far as the eye can see. After a week of hiking, he thought, maybe I should prepare for disaster like a drought or flood. I should mark out enough land for farming and fishing, as well as a forest for hunting. It took him a year to mark the outer boundaries of his territory. As he set off to return to the palace to complete the circle of his territory, he thought about his children. Would this be adequate to last 10 generations? Maybe they might want to be shipping merchants, so access to the ocean may be helpful. The man walked farther. Although he was weary, he was inspired by the knowledge that each step was increasing his holdings. 10 years later, the man started back to the palace. He was now old and tired. Just as he entered the palace, he dropped dead. He never realized the gripping hold his ambition had on him. There was always a good reason to have more. He never enjoyed any of the good life he sought because there was always more to be had. Despite these tales that warn of the dangers of greed, most in our societies have bought into the rationale articulated by the character played by Michael Douglas in the movie Wall Street. He asserts that greed is good, explaining that greed is the engine that drives the economy. It is the adrenaline that catalyzes achievement and the oil that greases the machinery of the marketplace. We seldom see on public display that greed also tears the family apart, breaks partnerships, and betrays trust. The worth of a product, commodity, or service is determined by what we are willing to pay for it. That leads us to think that our worth is measured by the amount we can command. Hence, the more money or assets we accrue, the more we are worth. That drives us to be more ambitious, as that is the route to acquisition and material success. However, when we pay too high a price for a product, we feel cheated, unhappy, and dissatisfied. Judging from the inequitable returns on ambitious energies, we may have bought into a pipe dream. People who are successful are never satisfied with what they have. Greed is a bottomless pit. It is never full. To maintain the same level of satisfaction, we will be driven to achieve and acquire more when the law of diminishing return is set in operation. There is an anecdotal story of some journalists who had asked John Rockefeller, the oil tycoon, how much wealth will be enough for him. He famously replied, "A little more." The Middle Eastern sage makes this astute observation. Whoever loves money never has money enough. Whoever loves wealth is never satisfied with his income. If we have a driving ambition, but a low contentment quotient, some of these signs will be evident. Firstly, constant complaining. We will be focused on what we do not have, on how inadequate we are in comparison to those better off. No matter what we do have, it is never enough. We complain how others have a better deal, how fortunate they are, and how we have been shortchanged. No matter how much God has blessed us, we are constantly worried about our family's security. We gripe incessantly about jobs, marriage, house, children, appearance, and just about everything else. We are restless, uneasy, sleepless, and fidgety. We feel we deserve more and we deserve better. Unconsciously, we slip into the dangerous domain of ingratitude. When our expectations are unmet, we feel we have nothing to be thankful for. It is like being cynical because we have no shoes when there are those without legs. A griping spirit is a sign we are driven by ambition but not rewarded with contentment. Secondly, ceaseless work. In a depressed economy, we work harder to keep our jobs. Employers know how to squeeze more from their workers, so employees work extra hours and assume more than one person's responsibility. However, this deep insecurity persists even in an economic upturn. We continue to put our careers ahead of our families and God. We justify our overcommitted schedule and rationalize that the long hours are only temporary while we are earning our stripes. Very soon, we are defined by our work. Obviously, employers are pleased with and proud of such workers, as the business owners are primarily concerned with their bottom line. Consequently, our worth is defined by our productivity. To cease work, even to rest, is to lose our identity and purpose in life. Thirdly, continual anxiety. The wicked queen in Snow White repeatedly asked, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?" She would only be content if she were the fairest. The moment she was second to Snow White, she felt anguish, anger, and envy. Although she was not less attractive than before, she could not bear the thought of being number two. In our competitive society, the drive to excel produces a perennial anxiety that we may lose out to someone else. This fear that we may lose our edge or advantage forces us to constantly compare with others. We engage in brinkmanship and one-upmanship. It has been well noted that the formula for material success is the same for a nervous breakdown. How do we resolve the need to succeed in life and the desire for contentment in our hearts? Obviously, we do not want to drift through life aimlessly like plankton waiting to be devoured. We all need a purpose to live for and meaning for our existence. Jesus assures us that our Heavenly Father knows our fundamental human and material needs. But when our ambition is to achieve material success at any cost, even to the exclusion of everything else, then we will never be satisfied. Priorities are required to order our goals in life. When we direct our energies to wrong priorities, we end up dissipated and dissatisfied. So, Jesus advises, seek first His kingdom and His righteousness. That is, to consciously submit every area of our lives to His rule. Our career, home, financial and investment portfolios, etc. It means we bring God's rule to our workplace, relationships, leisure, and all human enterprise. It also entails that we give priority to eternal considerations in all our decision making. We cannot make decisions purely on existential factors alone. We must keep eternity in view. When we serve goals larger than ourselves, God promises all these things will be given to you as well. He will provide for all the fundamental needs that we break our backs to meet. The things that pagans run after, God adequately gives. When we feed from the hand of God, we are freed from anxiety. When we recognize that success comes from God's favor, we remain humble and grateful. Provision from God comes with a worry-free promise. Just like the lilies of the field and the birds of the air, which do not worry about their resources, we can similarly be fully contented feeding from God's abundance. In a little ditty, the robin said to the sparrow, "I should really like to know why these anxious human beings rush about and worry so." Said the sparrow to the robin, "Friend, I think it must be that they have no heavenly Father such as cares for you and me." We all have a choice of either frenetically rushing about in futile pursuit of material achievement, yet never experiencing fulfillment, or putting in place priorities that enable us to live for eternal purposes while achieving contentment in the here and now.
Thank you for watching this short video. We hope you have been blessed. This is a question for this session for you to ponder and to discuss with your group.